Good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to the groundbreaking for our state's first toll road, the Triangle Expressway. I'm David Joyner, Director of the North Carolina Turnpike Authority, and I'm delighted that all of you were able to join us for this momentous occasion. Before we begin, we have some people I'd like to thank for helping us get here today. First, we would not be here if it were not for the Turnpike Authority Board, who have put in countless hours helping shape this project and this program. I'd like to ask that you stand, please, as I call your name. Secretary and Chairman of our board, Gene Connie. Sang Hamilton. Bill Lackey. David Redwine. Perry Saffron. Bob Spencer. And Rob Tier. Unfortunately, board members Lanny Wilson and Anthony Fox could not be here today. Thank you all for your leadership and perseverance. This project really does symbolize a great deal of perseverance. When things were tough, our board hung in there. And when all others thought we should give up the financing on this project, our board sounded like Christopher Columbus, just saying, sail on, sail on. Another major supporter who made it happen is here with us today, Congressman David Price. Congressman Price got in the trenches with us and encouraged USDOT to close on the TIFIA loan in time to save us millions of dollars at both the state level and with the Turnpike Authority. We're grateful for your leadership, and we look forward to hearing from you in just a few minutes. And Federal Highway Administrator Victor Mendez. We appreciate your being here with us today, and I suspect the real reason you're here is like a good banker, you want to check on your investment. I think you'll be pleased with what you see. We look forward to hearing from you in a moment as well. One of our most important allies has been the General Assembly and its leadership. We all know by now that toll projects require a certain amount of third-party equity. Our legislative leaders stepped up in a way that made the entire nation take notice. Speaker Joe Hackney and President Pro Tem Mark Basnight took strong leadership positions in getting a landmark financing package approved last year that will supplement more than $4 billion in new highway construction. And without that funding, these projects would not have been possible. I also want to thank our state legislators not just for their help with the GAP funding, but with adoption of enforcement legislation and taking quick action this year to approve bond refinancing legislation that allowed us to take this project to the bond markets. Over the past 3 years, we've had many partners standing beside us and helping educate local citizens, the media, and elected officials. Among those organizations were the Regional Transportation Alliance, Joe, and your group, the Greater Raleigh Chamber of Commerce, and all the other Triangle Area Chambers of Commerce, the Association of General Contractors, Carolina Asphalt Association, the Council for Engineering Companies, North Carolina Aggregates Association, NCGO, and the 21st Century Commission. All of you worked so hard to get the word out on the need for this project. Thank you all for what you have done. I also want to thank the Wake and Durham County leaders and all the mayors of the communities along the corridor, including Holly Springs, Apex, Morrisville, Garner, and Fuquay-Varina. I especially want to thank the staff and members of Campo and DCHC. Even though there was some trials in pulling it together, with your help, we've finally made it happen. Also, we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for the tremendously generous donation right away from the Research Triangle Foundation. Believe it or not, the foundation held this land for this road for nearly 50 years, waiting for us to come along and claim it. Thank you very much for all that you've done to make this possible. Another key to the development of the project is from the very beginning has been the North Carolina Department of Transportation, its staff, and its board. As partners, I would like to thank you for your willingness to get behind this project from the beginning and staying behind it all the way up to today. We absolutely could not have done it without you. To my staff, you've put in many, many long hours, weekends, sacrificed time with your families, and even when things looked discouraging, you stayed the course. We have been through so much, and there's no thank you that can adequately express my appreciation. In short, there have been many more partners, allies, and friends of this project that deserve our thanks. I simply just don't have time to name every one of you. As I stand here today, I remember my father, who served on what was then the Highway Commission in the 1960s when I was growing up in Rocky Mount. He would come back from those commission meetings in Raleigh, hailed as something of a conquering hero because of the road projects he brought home with him. Those projects created jobs. They made getting around rural Nash and Edgecombe counties easier. They helped farmers and businesses get their goods to market faster. Good roads meant progress and opportunity for an agrarian economy. They stood for forward-thinking, problem-solving solutions to complex issues. They were financed by a strong partnership between federal and state governments. And with a vibrant revenue source like the gas tax fueling gas-guzzling automobiles, there was plenty of money to build them. But we live in a different North Carolina today. We live in a time of rapid change. We live in an era of exploding growth, rising cost, and diminishing resources. We face challenges that my father never dreamed of. As Congressman Price, Administrator Mendez, and Secretary Connie will quickly attest, state and federal funds for roads are drying up. But while we live in an era of challenge, we also live in an area of opportunity, a place of vision, passion, and vibrance, where bold ideas and bold experiments lead to solutions to worldwide problems. This area, the Research Triangle Park, is an incubator of the kind of innovative thinking, bold ideas, cutting-edge technologies that are needed to create a better paradigm for funding transportation needs. It seems to be no coincidence that such an area is located at the foot of this new project. Like many experiments that takes place here in the Research Triangle Park every day, this project is symbolic of an experiment that has proven itself in 35 states as a viable alternative to highway delivery. The kind of alternatives that takes projects from concept to construction in just 4 years. The kind of alternative that offers motorists a choice to escape congestion. The kind of alternative that adds valuable time back to motorists' lives. The kind of alternative that produces projects decades sooner than would otherwise be possible with traditional funding. And an alternative that saves millions of precious DOT dollars in the process for construction and maintenance costs. While this alternative is not intended to solve our state's transportation needs, it is intended to kindle the kind of research triangle spirit that seeks the refinement of one alternative until it leads to the next, and until eventually a more successful and a more permanent solution emerges. This groundbreaking is, in a small way, emblematic of our greater challenge of finding sustainable solutions to our transportation funding needs. At the Turnpike Authority, we embrace this challenge as core to our mission. Thank you for helping us reach this important milestone today. We're truly grateful. With that, I'd like to introduce Congressman David Price of North Carolina's 4th Congressional District. Congressman Price currently serves on the House Appropriations Committee